Hello, I'm Clarice Hay from BeHealing.com. What's your past, present and future in your love life? Well, I've made a pick a card read so that you can find out. Now, the past part is, it could be recent past, but it's more likely to be long ago in the past, but it's got some influence on what is going on in your love life right now, or not going on in your love life right now. So I'm going to go into that past part. And in the present part is the deeper stuff behind what is going on for you right now, the reasoning behind it all and what it's got to do with the past part. The future part of it is going to be in a deeper dive, so an extended reading. So if you find that that story is your story with the past and the present, you might want to get the future part of it for even more to pre-arm you for what's coming in the future. If you do, toward the end of these readings, I'll be popping a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. Now, this is a timeless reading. Whenever you get into this, it's good. And so all you need to do now is take your pick. And you also need to know that I've got 2 prize draws every single month for a free reading with me. The first way to enter, the first one, the first draw is by being a subscriber to my channel, clicking like on this video and leaving a comment below. You can enter as many times as you like on different videos throughout the month. The second way is by getting one of those deeper dives to these readings. And you can get as many of those as you like throughout the month as well for different entries. So take your pick now. Which one would you like? Would you like the crystal, which is with the relax card? Would you like the flower? The flower is with the think it through card. Or would you like the shell? And the shell is with the let your fears dissolve card. Take your pick now. Don't forget to click like as you're watching this video. Leave a comment. Click on that subscribe button if you're new. I do a daily energy update for the collective. I go live 3 times a week in my Psychic Cafe show where I give 1 question readings. You can book in for those 1 question readings on my website at any time. Find a link for that in the description box below and also up there too. I do all the pre-book readings right at the start of my next live show, then send you the link to the replay, so you don't need to come live if you can't make it or if you don't want to. Alternatively, find the next live show laying in wait on my YouTube channel by clicking Be Healing down there. Click on set a reminder to come along and then you can book while I'm live too. I also do 3 of these love picker card reads a week as well. Let me know what you want the next ones to be about in the comments below. And I offer private readings from my website, BeHealing.com. You can book one of those. Find a link for that in the description box below and also one up there too. I get those out within 48 hours if you're ordering them. Well, take your pick now. Crystal, flower or shell. I'll see you when you're reading. If you chose the crystal and this one's for you crystals, let's find out about your love life. Now, there's going to be a past, a present and a future part of this. The past could be at any point in your past in your love life journey, but it's something that has something to do with what's going on in your love life right now. And so it could be recent past, but it doesn't have to be. It could be long ago. Present, of course, is what's going on in your love life now. And the future part of it is going to be in a deeper dive read. So that's going to be in an extended reading. If you find that this is your story, could be a story and you want to know the future part of it, then you can get that toward the end of the reading. We're popping a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. So let's get straight into your reading and into the past. So something in the past for crystals that has got something to do with their love life right now, what's going on right now. Cards have come out straight away. Waiting. So the 3 of Wands. Are you in a period of waiting at the moment? Well, this is about a period in the past when you were waiting too, the 3 of Wands. So you were also waiting in the past. 2 of Swords. You didn't know what to do, so you were indecisive, couldn't make a decision. You kept yourself waiting, is what this is saying. We'll get deeper into this. And the Hierophant, because you wanted something long term. Okay, so you might find yourself in this position again, but you were in this position in the past. Let's get into that. So the 3 of Wands. Tell us why the 3 of Wands is here. Why were you waiting before? 10 of Materials for it all. Oh, okay. The 10 of Materials. This is about being able to build with somebody. It could be about someone that's on your level financially, or someone that's on your level in capabilities for building something in the future. Whether we like it or not, people tend to put themselves or find themselves in certain income brackets. It could be called that, but it's not. It's more like you know, some people are entrepreneurs and they're going to be successful, and you just kind of know that in their energy, because they've got that personality type, you know. And some people are not going to be that, and that's okay too. But this 10 of materials, it's like, with the 3 of Wands, it's like waiting for someone that's kind of the same income bracket or the same potential to be able to build with you. So perhaps you were, I mean, it could be intelligence level or something like that. Perhaps you were around people that really weren't on your level, and you were waiting for someone that was on your level to come in. What's behind that? Ascension. Ah, so your growth game was strong. Okay. So you were in a period of rapid growth at the time of perhaps learning or really solidifying your personality type and where that was leading you. And perhaps because you were in a growth phase at the time, you were around people with your old energy rather than with the energy where you're headed. So it's like, it feels to me like you kind of put your love life on hold, perhaps not completely consciously, but consciously you did know that you were waiting for someone that at your level to come in. So that could have been quite a frustrating time for you, of not being able to connect with the people around you, not even friendships probably, and the people that you were working with, you might have felt like you were beyond them. Not in a bad way, not in like I'm better than everyone else, but like are you feeling where your trajectory was, and the kind of people that you were going to be around. So 2 of Swords, you were indecisive. You were not sure about your love life at the time. So perhaps there were people that you were attracted to, or people asking you out at the time, and you were kind of not sure. It's like, I'm not sure I should get into this, perhaps because you felt the truth behind it, that it would keep you back from where you were headed. The Wheel of Fortune, and you were moving, and so you were energetically moving. So you were in this indecisive place, like, I can't move forward on my love life because I don't feel like I'm around the right people at the moment. There's this intuitive kind of a knowing that if I do get into a relationship with someone, sure, I can make it work, sure, it can be enjoyable, but perhaps it's going to hold me back from where I'm headed, because it's going to keep me around those same kind of people. And I'm moving on up, says the Wheel of Fortune. Things are actually moving for me. My energy is moving. So teaching and emotional release was behind that. Ah, so then letting go of where you were at was taking a lot of your emotional energy to release that anyway. So it could have felt like a very unsettling time for you, where perhaps you were feeling like the rift of you and friends, and you of colleagues, and you people that you've been working with, and you of perhaps people that you were connected with emotionally as well. I mean, on a romantic level. And you're feeling like you just didn't belong there anymore, and you were headed somewhere else. But it's our hearts will be saying, even though that's true, and you know that in your mind, and you know that in your energy, our hearts still want to connect with people around us, right? Our hearts still have needs. Anyway, the Hierophant, there was this long-term thing going on, so you had like this long-term perspective. The Chariot, yeah, kind of knowing where you were headed, but pulled in 2 directions because your heart still wants to connect with people. And so your heart would have been saying, but what about love though? What about like staying here and connecting with these people? The High Priestess, your intuition was telling you, Page of Inspiration, that there's a new thing, a new chapter starting, something more exciting starting, somewhere you're headed. So you guys, your growth game is strong. And there was a feeling back then, albeit that you were in a frustrating place and your heart couldn't get its desires fulfilled, there's a feeling that you knew that you were on a mission kind of thing, and your life was, your growth game was strong, and so you felt like things are changing so fast and I'm moving forward. So what's behind that is grounding, but there was still like part of you that wanted the emotional connection and grounding with other people. You would have felt more grounded if you had like heart connections around you. Yeah, so very much a feeling of being pulled in 2 directions here, of like, you know where your long-term thing is, your long-term trajectory is, and you can kind of feel the path that you're on to be around your people, but your heart's still yearning at the time for something more, you know, for emotional connection and that grounding. Okay, so that was what was going on at some point in the past, and it's got some bearing on what you're going through right now. Perhaps you're going through exactly the same thing. Well, let's see. So, okay, we know that that happened in the past. What's going on now? What's going on now that has something to do with that for crystals? The Four of Voices. The Four of Voices is about rest, relaxation, a period of calm, a period where things perhaps aren't moving forward or don't feel like they're moving forward, but you are getting respite. You're in a holding phase. Things might not feel like they're moving forward. However, these periods of rest are important for us too. If you think about a tree goes through different cycles depending on the seasons, right? In spring, it buds. In summer, it flowers and fruits. In autumn, the leaves drop, will fall, the leaves drop. And then in winter, it's in this dormant kind of period. So it's not like fruiting and flowering all the time. And as humans, we go through, especially women, we go through all different kind of phases in our lives. And you're not required to bloom all the time. You can't expect constant results all the time. There is like a winter period where you're just kind of homeostasis kind of thing settling in, perhaps calling it integrating the energies of what you've just been through. Tell us more. What's going on for crystals right now in their love life? Like bigger picture kind of stuff, of course. Ace of Inspiration. So this is a new start and an inspiring, a passionate new start. What else? What else? So perhaps you're just gearing up for it. Perhaps this is the rest. That's too many. Perhaps this is the rest period before something exciting starts for you. Page of Voices. Somebody's got their eye on you. Let's get into these energies. So, Four of Voices. There it is, the High Priestess and the Chariot again, just like you had in that past. So, the Four of Voices. There's this rest period, this time of like winter time where nothing's happening, don't seem to be growing. And the High Priestess, your intuition is pulling you in two different directions, the Chariot card. So what did I say for the past? The Chariot and the High Priestess. Oh, I can't even remember. The Hierophant card is you're kind of looking for the long term, and anyway. Yeah, so the High Priestess card. Your intuition, part of you intuitively knows that this rest period is important, and it could be that you need to get deeper into that rest as well to be good with yourself, even though nothing's happening, and kind of embrace the stagnancy, embrace that rest before something happens. For you guys, especially emotionally, if you've been through like a really solid healing phase and you've had to do a lot of inner emotional work, then you're going to want to have a rest period, an emotional rest period that might feel like stagnation because you're used to so much going on emotionally, ups and downs, and having to deal with stuff and lessons and stuff like that, that it might feel really boring for you and feel like the pace, like things have just stopped happening for you. But perhaps life is supposed to be more peaceful and calm, and perhaps this phase is for you getting more used to that, an emotional calm place, and being good with that, and perhaps taking it to the next level. Like I said, perhaps you need to be taking this emotional calm to the next level, not just accepting it, but going, this is how life should be. Not just that, but this is how our relationship should be too. When something comes in, it's adding to this emotional calm rather than bringing in disturbances. So, High Priestess, you're intuitively kind of feeling pulled in two directions. Part of you kind of enjoying this period of emotional calm, a part of you wanting a bit of emotional stirring it up. A bit of a, bringing some excitement, that kind of thing. What's behind that is home. So you might be spending a lot of time at home, resting and, you know, just being emotionally calm and getting used to that. You see, when we're in emotional turmoil and it's all up and down and we're on this roller coaster, then we're wishing, aren't we? We're hoping and praying for and wishing for emotional calm, and we think we're going to really love it. And then when we get there, we're like, this is boring. I'm not sure I really like this very much. But perhaps you do like it. Perhaps it's much better than the roller coaster. Anyway, Ace of Inspiration. It looks like you've got something new starting. Something very exciting, something passionate. Tell us why the Ace of Inspiration is here. It's very different energy than that Four of Voices, the High Priestess and the Chariot. The Ace of Inspiration. Tell us why the Ace of Inspiration is here. Wrong deck. I was wondering why the cards weren't coming out. I'm like, it's not working. There's nothing coming out. And guys are like, yeah, you're shuffling the wrong deck. Duh. Okay. Ace of Inspiration. Oh. If I wasn't shuffling the wrong deck, then the High Priestess and Chariot couldn't have come out again. Anyway, Ace of Inspiration. Why is it here? We've got the Seven of Voices and the Ten of Emotions. Okay. So it's an exciting new thing, an exciting new passion. Someone who could have caught your eye. There could be attraction involved, of course, but Ten of Emotions is the happily ever after. Seven of Voices is like, it's not. You're deceiving yourself. You can have a happily ever after here. So something that is perhaps just pure attraction is coming in, but I don't think it's going to add to your emotional calm. I think it's appealing to the kind of wish, the part wish that you've got for a little bit more emotional turmoil. Be careful what you're wishing for here. It's not your happily ever after, this exciting new start that's coming in, this new person or whatever it is, or someone you're attracted to. Oh, what's behind that is changes, but it will bring change in. So, okay, what have we got here? Well, you're in a period of kind of stagnation, or let's call it emotional calm instead, and it's what you wished for. And you can build from here and then add love onto it in the future for sure. But because of the past, of another time when you were kind of waiting because you were around the wrong kind of people, it has you, the experience of the past when it was a different kind of a stagnation. You were waiting because your spirit was moving forward and you felt that. It may have you wanting to move forward now rather than recognizing, now where I'm at right now is integrating this emotional calm. And what I don't want is to undo that by getting into old energies. It feels like old energies, this. It feels like, well, let's get back on that love roller coaster again, you know? And that's not what you want. You've leveled up from that love roller coaster and you've got yourself to an emotionally stable place. So this person that's watching you, why have we got the Page of Voices here? Simplified version of this is saying nothing much has happened in your love life lately, but you've got a possible fling happening. You might be very attracted to them. It's not your happily ever after. And perhaps you need to be continuing on the path that you're on of emotional relaxation and calm rather than undoing it and going backwards and having a bit more of the emotional roller coaster that you used to have before. Page of Voices, tell us about this person that is catching the eye of crystals and that is looking at crystals here. Tell us about this Page of Voices, please. Tell us about this Page of Voices, please. Oh, okay. Nine of Materials, single independent, the Sun, happiness, Ace of Emotions, falling in love. Okay, so this person is attracted to you because of your single independent kind of an energy. You're making yourself happy. That what kind of a person will be attracted to that? Well, it's a sign of someone that's looking for someone healthy, right? Or it could too, be it the sign of someone that doesn't want to invest that much, doesn't want to kind of make someone else happy. They want to perhaps continue living a very selfish, single kind of a life and have a relationship with someone who doesn't need that much from them. It could be that too. So it is a sign of someone that's healthy, and it also could be a sign of someone that is unhealthy too. Falling in love, so they've got feelings for you. But yeah, this Nine of Materials in the Sun card, it's saying like you make yourself happy. And when we want a relationship, what we're wanting is to recognize that we've got needs, emotional needs that we want fulfilling by another. It doesn't, it's up to you now to recognize what relationship and emotional needs that you have that you want fulfilled by another. Sure, you're doing great by yourself, I know, and you've reached a certain level of happiness by yourself. That's great. But life could be so much better, right? You could have so much more happiness if someone were to come into a relationship with you and make you even happier and bring even more joy into your life, right? So it's about recognizing those needs and then recognizing that this person here that I'm talking about, they're not going to bring those needs in. They're just kind of seeing you as like, oh, this is a standalone person. They make themselves happy. I can take some of that energy, go into a fling with them without having to invest very much because this person's got no emotional needs. They don't need anything from me. And so I don't need to provide anything. And that's not what you want, right? You want someone that's coming along to add to your emotional calm rather than to take from it. So what's behind this? So it's good to be aware of the energies that you are holding and then realize what could be attracted to that, because there's two different attraction points. We've got, we attract, like attracts like, and like attracts opposite too. And what you've got here is an opposite rather than like attracting like. And just because you've got yourself to an energy and it's a match to an opposite doesn't make them the right person, What's behind that is truth. Right, and I think you might know this already, but perhaps you hadn't put it into this concept. And so it's really not anything like your past situation, even though on the surface of it, it might feel the same, like you're in stagnation. It's very different than before. And so you might think, whoa, I've not progressed. I've not got any better. I'm still in this stagnation just like I was previously. But you have. Your energy is completely different. These two are completely different. Even though on the surface of it, it kind of appears the same. Wow, so you've got a possible fling here. It's not exactly what you want though. So what's coming in the future then? What next? If you're interested in finding out what the future is, I'm about to do the same thing again, but in that deeper dive read, but for the future. And so what have you got coming? If you want to know what that is, you can get that deeper dive. I'll pop a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. It's 20 Australian dollars, which is about 15 American dollars right now, and it's an instant watch kind of a thing. You do need to type your email address in very carefully, because if you get that wrong, you will not receive it. Now, the email, it might end up in your inbox, but it might end up in your spam, your junk, your promotions folder. Do check in those places. In that email, you will see a link to the crystal, the flower, and the shell. Click on the crystal on a device that you can open PDFs with. In that PDF, amongst other things, you'll see a picture of a video, and if you click on that, if it doesn't take you right away to a video, just try it on a different device and it will. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click like. Before you click off down there, click that subscribe button if you're new, and leave a comment, because that'll get you an entry into that prize draw for a free reading with me at the end of the month. Good luck with winning that. As we'll get in that deeper dive as well, that'll get you entered into the other draw too. But if this is where you're leaving me, good luck with all of this. If you're coming with me to that deeper dive read, then I'll see you in there very shortly. So if you chose the flower, then this one's for you, flowers. Let's find out what's going on in your love life, past, present, and future. Now, the past part of it could be a long time ago, but it's got something to do with what you're going through at the moment. And so let's get straight into it. Now, if the past part of it and the present part of it will be in this reading, and the future part of it's going to be in that deeper dive read. So if you find that it is your story, could be a story, want it to be a story, you might want to get that future part of it. If you do, toward the end of the reading, we're popping a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. So let's get into your past. So at some point in your past, recent or long ago, that has something to do with your love life right now. Three of Wands. Okay, this is the first card that came out in the crystal reading as well, which crystal and flowers, you're often very similar, and there's some crossover sometimes, and it might be both of them, or it might just be a bit of both, or it could be one or the other. Anyway, Three of Wands, it's a time when you were waiting in the past, and perhaps you're waiting now, and this was a time in your past when you were also waiting. Tell us more. Tell us more. Tell us more for flowers, please. The past, this past time. Ace of Wands is a lot of attraction, physical attraction. And the Star, wishing for physical attraction. Okay, so a period in time when you're waiting for someone that you'd be more attracted to, perhaps, than the people that are around you. Three of Wands, tell us about this waiting energy. Three of Wands, waiting energy. The Knight of Materials took a long time, a period of stagnancy where what you were wishing for wasn't coming in. The Wheel of Fortune, things getting moving. When things did get moving, it was Tower. It's something that fell apart. So it was a period of time in your life when you were waiting for someone that was perhaps more physically attractive to you, more chemistry, that kind of thing. Waited for a long time, took a long time, and then when it came in, it fell apart pretty quickly. The Wheel of Fortune is like movement happened, perhaps you met someone, but it was really short-lived. It fell apart. Okay. What's behind that? Psychic development, it's all good, and forgiveness. There's something about readiness. I'm feeling like you weren't ready for what you actually wanted. You'd kind of pieced a little bit of it together, but you weren't really ready for exactly what it was that you wanted. There was some more psychic development going on, so there was more of you getting to know yourself more that needed to happen before you could get the true relationship that you truly want. So this is saying you were in a position where you were trying to manifest the relationship that would be right for you, but without the full picture yet of yourself, and you in a completely healed place where you can ascertain more of what would be better for you. So you kind of chose someone without having the full picture. Perhaps you got the full picture now, I'm not sure. We'll see in the present part of it, but without that full picture. And yeah, it didn't end well, let's put it that way. Ace of Wands, but there was massive attraction between you both. Like, the physical aspects of it would have been very good in this relationship. Tell us about this Ace of Wands. And short-lived as well is relative, you know, to us all. Sometimes if you're used to being in long relationships, 1 year can be short-lived. Ace of Wands, the Four of Materials, holding your energy back. Okay. So you didn't dive into it. You see, what I'm getting from this is your energy at the time, you're kind of halfway there. It's like the difference between trying to quit smoking when we haven't healed ourselves behind whatever's behind it, you know, healed ourselves of the anxiety, or healed ourselves of what is making us feel bad about ourselves that's causing the smoking in the first place. It's when we're just like still in that energy, haven't healed ourselves, but we try and quit smoking, not, you know, forcing it, you know, compared to completely healing yourself of the things that were causing it in the first place, and then you don't even want to anymore. You just don't want to do that to yourself. With this past energy, what I'm picking up on is you were kind of halfway there with your healing, and you're kind of halfway there with knowing yourself, and you're kind of halfway there with like ascertaining what you wanted in a relationship, and then you tried to move ahead with that halfway there energy, and moving ahead and you thought, well, probably a part of you knew I need to take it slowly to make a healthy relationship work. So you held some of your energy back, even though you're really attracted to them. So that'll be the, it's healthy to go into relationships slowly, so I won't sleep with them for the first 3 days or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Which is very different than when you're healed and you're really respecting yourself, and then you will truly take something slowly and let someone, advance toward you. You know what I mean? And perhaps you're at the stage now where this seems like more of a tactic, you see, this holding your energy back, this Four of Materials. I'll hold my energy back because maybe that will make this healthy. It's like you're piecing together the right pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, but without it coming from an authentic place, because you understand in your healed energy, in your healthy energy, that is definitely what you would do. It's like seeing the pieces of the jigsaw puzzle, but not really seeing the whole picture behind it all. What's behind this? Unlimited possibilities. So you saw a lot with this person, like it could be way more. It was attraction, physical attraction of high magnitude, but it could have been way more than that. And so you thought that you could make this into more, and what I'm getting is that you couldn't make it into more because the groundedness of the healing wasn't there in you. You weren't ready. That's what I heard straight away in this reading. It's like you weren't ready. You wanted to be ready, but you weren't ready yet. So the star, you were hoping that it would kind of work out. You were hoping that it would work out. And that you had clarity about it. So you were hoping that there was a certain level of clarity that you had about this, and you were clearer on what it was that you wanted than you'd ever been before, and feeling like you could have manifested like everything with this, and you couldn't. It was teaching. It was a learning relationship again. Now, it's just like school. Every relationship that we go through is kind of teaching us about ourselves and what we want and our level of healing and what else we need to do and all of that kind of thing and how to relate. And yeah, that was a lesson relationship. I can see that you thought it had more promise than it actually had, but the underlying groundedness of you and healedness of you wasn't there before you started off. So that has got something to do with what's going on in your love life right now. What's going on in your love life right now? Wrong deck. What's going on in your love life right now? Things going really slowly. Knight of Pentacles. And the Lovers. And the Devil. Interesting, because not in this deck, but in other decks, the Lovers and the Devil card look really similar. So both got a couple in it, and what in the Devil card they're kind of chained to each other, but in the Lovers card they're kind of willingly being there with each other. So let's get deeper into this. So things are going slowly for you at the moment. Knight of Pentacles. Why? Three of Materials, the Queen of Inspiration. You're very attractive, so it's not for lack of offers and things like that, or people being attracted to you, but Three of Materials, you've got a plan. Ace of Inspiration. Ace of Wands. So again, it's similar to this past energy of kind of wanting someone more attractive to you, wanting someone more physically attractive to you. You've got a plan. Queen of Inspiration, you know how attractive you are. You want someone else equally as attractive of you, and you've got a plan behind that. Okay. So perhaps this past person that you're with, that level of physical attraction that you've had, that is what you're trying to manifest again. What's behind that? You know, that level of chemistry? What's behind that? Sexual energy. Yeah. That's what I'm getting, is like, that's what you're trying to manifest again, that level of chemistry. It's slow going. You got the Lovers and the Devil. Interesting. So tell us about this Lovers energy. Page of Voices and Death and Strength. Okay, so when you've got the Lovers, the ones that potential matches coming in, you're paying attention to them, or they're paying attention to you, both. Death, though, it's like death and rebirth. Something big needs to change. Often you might be too strong for them, or them too strong for you. I'm not picking that up. So when you pay attention to them, there seems to be something big needs to change in them. So in other words, they're not a match to you. There'd be a match apart from that one thing that you've noticed about them that isn't it. So there's always something that is not quite right about them, that isn't a match to you or what it is that you want. You're stronger than that, or you kind of know. Growth is behind that. Your growth game. Okay. So what this energy is saying is that you kind of know where you're at the moment, where your energy is, and what would be a match to you. And you know that you're still growing too. So there's no way you could settle for less than you are right now, because you know you're onwards and upwards, right? And I think you've already experienced that already. It's like never settle for anything less than your energy right now, because you're going to continue growing, and so you'll grow out of someone else's experience real fast if you do that, and it'll end, right? So the potentials that are coming in, the potential matches that are coming in, you're kind of noticing, no, I'm like, I need someone that's grown as fast as me. And so you're noticing each time that something would need to change in them, something needs to be different in them. In other words, they're not a match. The Devil energy, and then you've got these ones. The Two of Voices, and you're not sure about them at all. Okay, tell us more about this Devil energy. So you've got another type of person who's tempting, and you don't know about them at all. The Empress. There's a part of you that kind of knows that you deserve more than that. But there's a temptation. There's a temptation here to not settle. It's not about settling for what isn't right for you. I'm sure that you wouldn't do that. But just to have a fling or something short term with something that is, you see, you've got this, you had this desire for chemistry before. I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that. And then you've got that same desire for chemistry here. And so what will be put in front of you, or what you're noticing of what's put in front of you, could be quite tempting. You know you deserve more than that, but you could have a fling with them. Do you know what I mean? It's that temptation is what you've got here. So it's either you're getting to know people that it's possible long-term, possible match, but then you're noticing, no, they've got something that is missing in them. Or there's these tempting ones that you've got that chemistry with, strong chemistry, and you know, like, they've got a lot missing to be a match, but you could kind of go there. What's behind that? You could kind of go there and, like, not real, and know that it's not a match. It's not going to be long term. What's behind that is past, present, and future. Oh, okay. What I'm getting from that past, present, and future is it would change your trajectory. So with these Devil kind of energies, not what you want, but tempting, nonetheless, kind of easier. What do I mean by that? Someone who, you know, is like completely wrong for you, but there's a lot of chemistry there. That is easier because you're not going to get involved with them than choosing one of these lovers who potential, but no, it's this one thing that's not quite right about them. And I'll grow out of their experience, so I'm not going to go there. So that is more dangerous, to have someone that's nearly a match to you, because you're more likely to get more involved with them and try and make it into something more like this, like the past that you did there. The fling is kind of safer for you and more tempting, but past, present, and future is saying, but you're going to change your trajectory. The trajectory that you're on if you do that. So let's find out what trajectory you are on then if you don't do that, and see what's coming up in your future. I'm just going to do the same thing again, but for the future I'll get more cards out as well. So if you're interested in that, I'll pop a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. It's 20 Australian dollars, which is about 15 American dollars right now, and it's an instant watch kind of a thing. You do need to type your email address in very carefully, because if you get that wrong, you will not receive it. Now, the email might end up in your inbox, but it might end up in your spam, junk, or promotions folder. Do check in those places. In that email, you will see a link to the crystal, the flower, and the shell. Click on the flower on a device that you can open PDFs with. In that PDF, amongst other things, you'll see a picture of a video, and when you click on that, if it doesn't take you right away to a video, just try it on a different device and it will. So thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to click like before you click off down there. Click that subscribe button if you're new, and leave a comment, because that'll get you an entry into the prize draw for a free reading with me, as we'll get in that deeper dive read as well. That'll get you entered into the other draw, and they're both drawn at the end of the month. And so if you're not doing that, if you're not getting that deeper dive, if this is where you're leaving me, then good luck with all of this. And if you're coming with me to that deeper dive read to find out what you're headed toward, then I'll see you in there very shortly. If you chose the shell, and this one's for you, shells, let's find out about your love life, past, present, and future. Now, the past part could be long ago, it could be recent. It's just got something to do with what's going on in your love life at the moment. Present being, of course, the deeper stuff behind what's going on in your love life right now, or not going on. And the future part of it is going to be in a deeper dive, so it's going to be in an extended reading. If you find that the past and the present could be a story, want it to be a story, then you might want to get that for even more. If you do, toward the end of this reading, we'll be popping a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. So your cards are flying out already for your past part of it. So sometime in the past for you, shells, what was going on back then for you? Well, the Knight of Swords, you were rushing into something, perhaps not thinking about it enough. Hangman, and then you change your mind. What else? What else? Okay, then you change your mind. Five of Wands, you wanted to reach higher. Page of Swords, check someone out before you move forward. Okay, so obviously you rushed into a relationship, and learn from that actually you need to take your time, because it wasn't up to par. It wasn't up to your standards, or what it is that you want, or the level that you're at. Five of Wands, you needed to reach higher. So Page of Swords, yeah, needing to kind of pay more attention first of all. So perhaps an experience that you had where you rushed into something, perhaps thinking that you knew, or you could pick up on someone's energy, and you hadn't really. You thought you'd got clarity on someone, and you hadn't really. You went too fast into something and then found out they were completely different than the person that you thought they were. Power tools again. Knight of Swords. They're fitting out some rooms. I just went and had a look at them this morning. They're making them all fancy, putting all like fitted furniture in there and stuff. I hope they do that to this room, but I would have to move out for them to do that to this room, so maybe not. Knight of Swords, tell us this Knight of Swords. You rushed in and it broke your heart, right? You rushed in. You went too fast into a relationship here, kind of blindly going forward, trusting or something like that, trusting that you thought that you knew what they were like. So this could have been early in life, you know, this could have been like when you were a teenager or early 20s or something like that. Because if we're just kind of around the same kinds of people, we're going to presume that everyone's like that, really. And then, you know, end up in a new kind of a place around different kinds of people. We're just going to presume, oh, they must just be exactly the same as all the people that I've known before, and just get into it because there's an attraction there. Get into it too fast and then realize, oh, no, they're not anything like the people that I've known before. So there was joy, and then anger. Went from one emotion to another of, yeah, as it was like, wow, this is great, and then, whoa, it's not great at all. It's quite the opposite, Hangman. So there was a turnaround. So it, like, changed your mind about them completely. Ten of Inspiration and the Eight of Materials. So the reciprocation, the eight of materials, the getting back from what you're putting in, it just wasn't there. The burden was on you. Someone said that it was your fault or something as well. You knew what you were getting into. You didn't. You didn't know what you were getting into. That's the thing. But yeah, you might have heard that from other people, or perhaps from this person that you got involved with as well. It's like you knew what you were getting into, and you really didn't. You were quite innocent in that. We do better when we know better, right? And if we are kind of naive and we've only experienced certain kinds of people, it's natural to expect that everyone's going to be like that, you know? If all you've ever seen is a certain kind of person, then you can expect everyone to be like that, and they're not, right? And so once we have our initial experience with a different kind of a person, then our eyes are open to that then, and we lose some of our naivety. What's behind that? So you change your mind about them completely. And even though people might have told you, well, you chose them, it's on you. What's behind that is abundance. Could have had something to do with money. I don't know. Or a lot of people maybe had a lot of choices at the time, and perhaps people around you thought that you'd chosen, and you might have thought you'd chosen wisely too, but I'm really not getting that you chose at all. I think perhaps you were chosen and you went along with it, presuming that it was going to be what you usually experience or what you were used to. Anyway, there was a definite like, no, I need to reach higher than this. It's like, okay, there are like wrong choices out there. I need to go for better and take my time and notice before you get involved with someone, the lovers. Before you sleep with them, right? Yeah, before you get involved on that kind of a level, you need to really pay attention to who they are. What's behind that is home. Before you take them in, wow. Okay, so yeah, before you take them home, never mind just sleeping with them, before you take them home. So you could have got yourself into a very tricky spot there. I don't know, just someone steal from you, or just like you didn't, yeah, someone could have stolen from you. You like took them home to sleep with them and really changed your mind about them straight away if they stole something from your place or something like that. Wow. Okay. But I wouldn't say that that's anything to be worried about. We've all got our first experience with someone that's less than good or less than what we've been used to. And for me, it was like I moved to Australia and then had my first experience of a player. I'd never known players before, and I'd never been in relationship with them. And I'd obviously been around players before, but I'd never, got in a one-on-one situation with them to understand what that was like. So I just went through like thinking everyone was like open-hearted and loving because of the 2 or 3 relationships that I'd had before. Well, more than that probably, but yeah, like in England, and then I went to Australia and met this guy, and I just thought, oh, he's just, he's great too. Started in a relationship with him, but no, it wasn't great at all. And of course, that was my first experience into that kind of an energy. And then once I was like alert to that energy, once I'd experienced it, it's like, okay, now I need to keep my eye out. And that's what you've got here, is that it's not on you. You didn't choose it. You kind of did, but you chose it through a mission, with not knowing that energy. So you can forgive yourself for that, right? And being naive isn't being stupid. Being naive, so new to an experience, doesn't mean that you're stupid. It just means that you haven't come across that experience yet. And then once you do, you learn, right? So you learn. So don't put that one on yourself. Yeah, you had joy at first and then it made you angry. No wonder. Wow, okay. So what's in your present? What's going on in your love life right now? It's got something to do with that. The Magician, you're manifesting. Using the resources that you've got to manifest what it is that you want. What are you manifesting? Tell us more about the present energy. For shells, 9 of Wands, wary. Because of what you've been through, you're wary. Okay. So you're manifesting from a wary place. Well, what happens when we do that is we tend to manifest what we're focused on. And if you're focused on like players, narcissists, you know, that energy that you don't want, you could very well manifest it. King of Wands, you've got somebody here. Could be very passionate, could be very attractive, could be making a move on you. Let's find out. So the Magician, here you are manifesting. You manifest with your energies rather than your words. You know, you can say whatever you like. Oh, I want this. But if your energy is opposite to that, then you're not going to be manifesting it. You manifest with your energies. In other words, you can be saying all you like that you are manifesting $1 million, but unless you're actually doing the things to get $1 million, like building a business or, you know, marketing your business to a higher level or whatever, those actionable steps, unless you're doing that, you're not in the energy. If the actual energy that you're at is like just, you know, doing a minimum wage job and just kind of wishing for it, then it's going to be your energy that manifests more, not your words of manifesting $1 million, right? And same goes with relationships too. If you're like, I want to manifest like my happily ever after person, and all of this, we can say that all we like, but if in your energy you're focused on the narcissists, the players, this one that wronged me, that one that wronged me, and like people that are like that, then that is what is going to manifest, unfortunately. So the Wheel of Fortune, fate seems to be going really slow for you. Knight of Materials, Four of Emotions, and it's all very disappointing. So you're not getting that offer that you want because what you're manifesting is the opposite. So you've got a case here of the universe trying to protect you. It's trying to protect you from manifesting at the moment, or it's slowing things right down. It's a case of be careful what you wish for. Your guides are going, oh, don't rush forward with this energy. You don't know what it is that you're manifesting. And you might be trying to speed things up and doing all you can to manifest what it is that you want. But any manifestational work that you do is amplifying your energy of what it is that you're focused on. What's behind that? So just be careful on what we focus on. I mean, it's natural to want to protect ourselves, right? So it's natural. We've got to go through a stage where we are not, well, we're not naive anymore. You've experienced what being naive is. So the stage after being naive, it's like you change your mind about it. It's like, oh, now I need to look out for this. But then there's a stage beyond that where we stop focusing on that. What I'm trying to say is, once we've been through something negative, there is a stage that we need to go through where we're focused on what happened, negativity, so that we can protect ourselves from it again, so that we learn from that, so that we know it. Right? So if we see it again, we'll recognize it. But once we've done that, once we've immersed ourselves in that energy and we know it, then we need to open back up and focus on where we're headed, what it is that we want. So what's behind that is new beginnings. So when we're in the negative space, it's not the time to be trying to manifest something new. We're clearing up what has gone before. So the Nine of Wands, when you're still wary, it's not the time to be putting your foot down on the accelerator and trying to manifest something new. It's like you're trying to be in two seasons at the same time, I think this is saying. Nine of Wands, so you've got this wounded warrior energy, like you're still focused on the wounding rather than what you truly want. What's behind that is death. Something big needs to end. So before you can have that rebirth, before you can move forward and manifest a new relationship, that needs to end. That focus on something new. So it feels to me like you're not fully healed from that yet. Still getting to know that energy. Creativity is behind that. So that is the card of, you know, manifestation as well. You're manifesting from the energy of what you're fearing, and that needs to change before you can manifest what you're truly asking for. The King of Wands. So we've got this character here. Well, you've got this character here. King of Wands. There could be a fire sign. They could be very passionate. Could be taking a lot of action. Tell us about that. The Knight of Emotions, coming forward with romance. Oh, that seems promising, doesn't it? If you didn't have these cards here saying, oh, no, be careful what you're manifesting. So whatever negativity they've been focusing on, like I say, it could be about players, it could be about people that have catfished you, it could be someone that's been abusive, it could be like narcissism, it could be all kinds of things. Whatever it is that you're mostly focused on, that's what this person's going to be. What's behind that? Past, present, and future. I love that this card comes out in these readings. So it's kind of a rerun. That's what's going on in your love life at the moment. It's a rerun of what you've been through before because you're not yet healed from it yet, is what this is saying. And so be careful what you're getting into now, because it's more of the same, and it'll carry on until you move beyond that energy. And that's easier said than done. We can't like speed up our healing, but you can focus on it a bit more. You can get a therapist, you can, you know, do more meditation, you can be doing like more inner work. I guess that's going to speed it along a bit, but there is a certain process that we need to go through emotionally as well as in our heads too, to make sense of it all and to become this empowered person that wouldn't do it again, that knows better, that knows how to protect themselves, that knows how to notice it, that knows how to deal with it, stand up to it, draw a boundary, assert that boundary, not back down from that, all of those kind of things. And gaining that strength from that healing is quite a process, and it takes some time, and we can't bypass that and suddenly be ready and suddenly be trying to manifest something different, because you're always your energy that's going to manifest, not what you're saying and not what you're wishing for. So there you go. That is what I've got. Now, what have you got coming in the future? Well, let's find out. If you think that this is your story or could be your story, then you might want to get the future part to see what's coming towards you. Pre-warned, pre-armed, right? And so if you do, I'll pop a link for it up there. There's also a link for that in the description box and in the comments below. It's 20 Australian dollars, which is about 15 American dollars right now, and it's an instant watch kind of a thing. You do need to type your email address in very carefully, because if you get that wrong, you will not receive it. Now, the email, it might end up in your inbox, but it might end up in your spam, junk, or promotions folder. Do check those places. In that email, you will see a link to the crystal, flower, and the shell. Click on the shell on your device that you can open PDFs with. In that PDF, amongst other things, you'll see a picture of a video, and when you click on that, if it doesn't take you right away to a video, just try it on a different device and it will. So thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to click like. Before you click off down there, click that subscribe button if you're new, and leave a comment, because that'll get you an entry into the prize draw for a free reading with me at the end of the month, as we'll get in that deeper dive read as well. That'll get you entered into that second prize draw for a free reading with me. So good luck with winning those. But if this is where you're leaving me, if you're not getting that deeper dive, then good luck with all of this. If you're coming with me to that deeper dive read, then I'll see you in there very shortly.